Hey guys,
Hi.
it's Liz and Chrissy, and we decided to do a video instead of calling a store meeting. So, I know a lot of you guys have things to do after work, and I have things, Chrissy has things. It's really hard to get everybody together. So, we're going to start with registers.
Okay, so we've gone over this a few times already, but we're still hearing it happen at the registers. As far as scripting, it's in your training. What's the first thing we ask the customer, which is, first of all, did you find everything okay? And then the second question is always, have they shopped with us before? That's going to tell you where your scripting needs to go. Do we need to ask them just straight for their telephone number because they've shopped with us before, or get more information from them at that point?
If you're being turned down by the customer for a number or email or text, find a different way. Debbie always says, shake your head, nod your head up and down. They will.
It works. It's weird,
Yeah,
but it works.
it's crazy that it works, but it works. So, and let them know, sign up today. They're going to get $5 off automatically just for signing up. So help them save money, guys, by asking them a different way. Make it known to them that sometimes we have flash sales, or certain sizes are going to go on sale, or coats are going to go on sale, and sometimes only our text messenger members have that information.
And if you're talking to your customer throughout the transaction, it seems like a lot to say, but if you space it out and you continue the conversation, it's easy to get it all in there.
Yeah.
Email, text, and all that fun stuff.
You guys should be glad that Debbie isn't like before. You have to know their like second child's name. That's all the information. She wants you to have a personable contact with that customer, and
Especially right now when we're slower. It's harder when there's, a line of 20 people attached
Oh, yeah, for sure.
less people, but
Okay, so another thing that we're having an issue with is we are not circling and initialing the bottom. And it's really easy, guys. You just say, you have the 7 days to exchange any items that are used apparel. All new items are going to be final sale. That includes bows, toys, equipment.
and read it and get familiar with what it says. So that way when the customer may argue with you, you know what our policy is.
And never, ever, ever, ever say return policy. Like, that should just not happen. If you do this and I have to argue with a customer and I know this is on there, I can stand behind you guys. When this is not on there, guys, I'm going to side with the customer. And that's just how that is, because I need to know that you guys are doing your job. So make sure you're doing this.
And that kind of leads us right into our next point as far as our exchange policy and just policies in general that we have here. There's always time to think outside the box, and it's always okay to ask a supervisor or a manager for approval on doing a return or exchange. Liz had an example the other day, customer that literally had left, not even 10 minutes, and wanted to return a pair of pants because she found out that her mom had already bought them for her. In that case, we obviously did the return for the customer. So always ask.
Yeah, and it's not like we're trying to go above you guys and say different than what we're teaching you guys. We just don't want an upset customer. That customer was going to blast us on Facebook and all kinds of things because we didn't follow the policy. We didn't tell her what our exchange policy was. We told her we couldn't give her cash back, refund cash, but in all honesty, we don't do any refunds. So, step outside the box. The thing of that customer who is living paycheck to paycheck, and if their mom already bought it for them, then why wouldn't we be willing to give them their money back? They're more likely to come back to us.
Right, and we were kind of talking, we still want our customers to know the policy, even if it does come that we do the return. Simply tell the customer, what, this is our policy, but let me talk to a manager or supervisor, see what I can find out for you. So then that way they're educated for next time, and when we talk to them, they already know our policy.
And also that might make the customer think, oh, okay, well, I realize this is their policy, but for me, they're going to go that extra step to see if they can help me in a situation. And more than likely, we're going to get, help them as much as possible. We need them to keep coming back to our store. Okay.
We're still doing the bagless program, guys. I haven't heard as many people pushing it, but it's still for Harvey. So please ask customers to donate.
We are also still doing the tote bag. Please sell them $1.99. However, we're not running the promotion where they get to bring it in every time and get 10% off. Tell them sometimes we do run promotions, so make sure to sign up for our text club and our email club because there will be promotions with that bag. And you can still put in for the bagless for that when you sell one.
That's a good point.
Okay.
We kind of skipped around here, but I guess finally, as far as that, back to the exchange policy, the customer is always right. You have to bite your tongue, smile, do whatever you can to make them happy.
We never know what they're coming from either. Just like they don't know if we just got yelled at by the customer before them. We don't know if somebody cut them off on the road coming here, or their kid got stuck inside the car and they're, in the seat strap. You don't know these things. So, be kind, be compassionate, and really just remember that's how we make our paychecks, is if we make them happy and they continue to shop with us.
Exactly.
Okay.
So floor is our next area to talk about. Number one, Debbie's always number one is hand out baskets. Don't even ask. Take 2 on the floor with you. Talk to your customers, and offer them the basket. They're going to fill it up.
Yeah, they will fill it up, guys. And carts. You see a struggling mom. Almost all of our stores now have carts in them. So if you see a car seat, fits right in top. Make it easy for them. Let them have the leisure of just shopping in our store, not worrying about if their kids running around the store, or we're
Those car
breaking
seats are
toys.
heavy.
Yeah, car seats are heavy. You try holding one while you're shopping.
Super heavy.
Shoe wall. Okay.
Explain our shoe wall to customers. There's a lot of times I think they have no idea that we have signs out. They obviously see the different colors on the shoes, but they don't get it.
Could be a pricing tool for them as far as they know.
Right.
I think I go out there anytime I see anybody just scanning our wall, I try to show them the signage and then say, if you're looking for size 9, it's going to be this color. Look for this throughout the whole shoe wall, and it should make it easier because we can't keep them by size. We know that.
Yeah.
It's too much of a struggle. People place them in different areas.
Well, and also explaining how kids' shoes work. You'd be surprised how many parents actually don't know that it goes to a 13 and then we're back to a 1 again. Mm-hmm. So definitely explain that to them.
Also, when you're taking out clothes and you see somebody, let's say you're taking about 20 items of girl size 2 out and there's somebody shopping it, don't push them out the way, guys. Walk around, go to the other side, get another stack of clothes, and ask them how they're doing. See if you can get them their basket that they need because their hands are filling up, or show them what's in your hand so they can shop off of you. Help them find the best things that are in our store.
We had a customer a little while ago, but we actually went and got or it was maybe Destiny, but she was size 2, taking out a bunch of it. She went and got a rolling rack from the back, which they're right there for you. Put it on, and the customer shopped through and bought like 3 or 4 things. And then after she was done shopping, we were able to put the clothes on the rack and put that rolling rack up. So anything we can do to help the customers out.
And although in Arlington we do have the luxury of being able to take them to an area that we already have it hung, Weatherford, you could do the same thing. You have a hanging cave. Burleson, yours is literally next door. If you knew of a size 2 girl's bin and you wanted to help that customer, you could go and find it easily for them. It's stepping out of the box and helping the customers and finding the things that they want so that they can continue to come back and shop. And make sure you're saying hi to them, guys. Don't just pass by and say hi, and ask them, what are you looking for? Is there something I can help you with? Did you notice, we have some of our boutique items on this end cap. Whatever you need to do it. Yeah. Talk to them.
We talked to a customer last week that was looking for swimsuits, and she ended up, I went and pulled the bin from the back. She ended up buying like 4 or 5 swimsuits in larger sizes just because she liked them to keep for next year. So
it works.
Think about that too. We buy swimsuits year round, so they're always here.
All right. Next is theft. Tell us if you think anybody looks suspicious. Assume everybody is stealing from you. Don't come and tell somebody after they're gone outside the door. We can't do anything about that. Debbie said she would move the transit behind that car so they can't leave. Well, I need y'all to tell us so we can start watching them right away. And that's in any store.
Be able to follow them on the cameras, so if it does come to having to call the police, we know exactly when and what time to find it.
And it takes a long time. Today, the detective came and I pulled somebody, had to pick a picture out of a lineup. That was 2 months ago that happened. So it's a long procedure, but we're going to get something out of it. We know these people. I picked them out of the lineup. It can be beneficial if we're paying attention, and it's going to happen. And you don't want to be known as a store that's easy to steal from at all, because if that happens, the next thing is going to be cash, the registers. And we all know we close with a small amount of people. We open with 2 people. We close with 4 people. Some of you only close with 2 people and open with 2 people and close with 3. So, if there's word out there that we're an easy target, they're going to come after us for bigger and better things, which is like cash.
Really careful.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to theft. Our safe word is asparagus. This is to be used among employees whenever you see something suspicious. Let another employee know, and then, like Liz said, make sure your management knows what's going on so that they can get on the cameras and that someone is constantly walking with whoever the suspect is.
Yeah, definitely. If you use asparagus, it shouldn't catch on too much by customers,
What'd you have for dinner last night?
Yeah,
as long as
we're cooking asparagus tonight or something,
Not really sure where that came from, but it works.
But it works. All right. So moving forward is, when is it appropriate to push the panic button? Do you push it just because somebody's stealing from you and you saw them running out the door? Or are you going to be, is it need to be more severe, like you're being robbed or somebody's acting aggressive?
Yeah, I think we were just talking about any time that the cops need to be called and you can't get to a phone or don't feel like you can leave your post to get to a phone to call 911 or be heard on the phone is definitely a time to hit the panic button. If there's a customer acting aggressive or not all there and standing in front of you at the registers or wherever you're at, make sure that you press the panic button.
Okay, so a little fun now. Message me where your panic store is. No, where your panic button is in your store, and give me details on when it would be appropriate to use. And if you do so, you would get $5 in store credit. Woo! Okay, moving on.
Fire station.
Is it okay to say we stop buying an hour before closing on the phone? Is it? I think so. I think allowing yourself to be caught up for the day would be nice, not only to your employees, but also to the customer. You don't want them walking in at 7:30 and then being here till 9 o'clock because you didn't tell somebody on the phone that you stopped buying. You know, we try to do as much as we can when we can, and it all depends on if you have a buyer. A lot of our stores, you know, Weatherford, you guys might sometimes not have a buyer for 2 hours. The same in Burleson, your closers are not yet there where they can be a complete buyer and closer. So there will be times when you need to say, hey, you know, we stopped buying today at 6 o'clock and, you know, we'll go ahead and get it sorted for you. Somebody will call you first thing in the morning, but inform your other employees, you know, let them know on Facebook, hey, 2 buys walked in. What we don't want to see is you guys have a $200 buy day, 10 buys, and you're leaving 3 for overnight, because that just shouldn't happen. You should be more efficient than that.
On the phone, that's just another way to educate your customers too. Like she said, it keeps them past time. Kids have bedtimes. There's always, if a customer comes in after 7 o'clock though and has 2 items, or, you know, always think outside the box. The main thing is that we keep our customers happy and we get in good product. That's really the bottom line.
Now that's on the phone. If somebody were to walk in at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:45, 6:45, whatever it may be, the hour before you close, you guys need to take it in. You don't just tell them, no, we're not taking it in. They drove to your location. They loaded up their car to bring you something. And maybe you buy it the next day, which would be fine. But you need to be informative to the customer. They need to know why you are having to stop buying. And I think if you are informative, they'll be more than willing to understand. And the rule doesn't abide if you don't get a phone call. You know, if we don't hear back from you by noon, we're going to donate your items. No, guys. Be a little bit more compassionate. Yeah. You're the reason they can't do it. We are, the store is, we can't do their buy at that moment. So give them a little bit of leeway. Maybe we need to have them there before the closing of the next day. Okay?
Okay. This is kind of not an issue in Arlington, but just something that we're working on. Whenever a customer does come in with a buy, make sure you approach them. Just like checking out, we want to ask if they've shopped with us before. The first thing we need to know is if they sold with us before. If they've never sold, that's a whole spill that you need to be giving your customers. If they have sold, you still want to let them know what we're purchasing. Be very clear about sizes, which I know is about to change, but sizes, seasons that we're taking. But walk up to the customer. Have that one-on-one moment with them. They're leaving you their items that their kids wore. I mean, they brought them home from the hospital and possibly. So just make sure that they know that their items are in good hands and they know our policies.
And if you're asking them to lay it flat in our black bin, it needs to be delivered back to them in that same way. Not necessarily in our black bin, but flat in a clear bag. Because, you know, they took their time to lay it flat for us. We can at least do the same respect and give it to them laying flat again instead of crumbled up in a bag.
Because then if they want to take it somewhere else that is buying a different season or something we're not looking for right now, they can take it out and lay it back flat for somebody else. And they're not doing the work twice. So sure. Use the buy log. It is there for a reason. It has helped find many of misplaced, not lost buys, they're usually just misplaced, but it helps find buys, guys. Be descriptive on what they brought in, a high chair and 1 bin. I know since we have them put it in our bins now, it might just say 1 bin, which is fine. If we have to go back and look on the cameras, we know we're only looking for 1 bin and not 7, or 1 bin and a high chair. So, and what time they came in, if they're dropping off. Weatherford's really good at this, putting drop, and then what time was quoted. They can't come back in 30 minutes if we quoted them 3 hours. So it works.
Don't want me to ask you guys to start taking pictures of this every night. So make sure you guys are doing it. Okay. So, let's talk about drama. We don't like it. We don't want it. Keep it at home. And if you don't like another associate, you don't have to be you don't have to be nice to them outside of work, but while you're working, you will have respect for each other. And if there's an issue that you're seeing them doing their job incorrectly, it's not your job or your responsibility to go to them. It is your job and responsibility to go to the manager in charge or whoever is closer or main buyer. Or in any case, you can come to me or Chrissy at any time we answer our
and not
phones.
another employee, not discussing, oh, did you see the way she was tagging, or why was she doing this way? That's none of their business either.
No.
Unless you're in a position that you can help train, and because all of us have been there. We've all learned to tag the first time, learned a new hanging method. Like, I mean, we've all been there, guys. So
It's just rude. Don't
It
do
is.
it. You know, the he said, she said factor of it means I'm going to pull all of you guys in the office. We're going to spend way too much time talking about it. And when it could have just never happened if you just come to me or Chrissy or whoever's in charge for that day.
kind of leads into work as a team. All of us have our different strengths and weaknesses, and we can help each other as far as training and even scripting at the registers. There's so many different things. Some people are very personable and can be up at the register, great cashiers, and some need to work on scripting a little bit more and being open. So that's just know that about each other and work as a team.
Yeah, if like Chrissy overheard me say, what's your phone number? What's your name?
Right.
She would pull me to the side and be like, hey, you know, we could be a little bit nicer about that. Be like, is this your first time with us? Have you shopped with us before? I hear a lot, I think in Burleson, like, oh, thanks for coming back. We're glad to see you back again. That is awesome. Amazing, amazing. And just helping each other so that you can become better at it would be
And your
just
store
great.
has more customers coming in and has better sales. I mean, that's the major end goal.
Yeah, the major end goal.
I'll let you talk about the next one since that's been.
Okay. Never ever discuss pay without anyone besides us and or Debbie or Wayne. This is grounds for immediate termination, guys. It is nobody else's business what you make, what they make. It doesn't matter. You need, that information is to be
That's even
spoken with us only.
When you get a raise, even, or when, you know, there's so many different things, but it needs to stay between you and Debbie.
This will be the only warning you get, so don't let it happen, because many of people have been let go lately for this reason. So don't talk about it. It's not worth it at all.
No, not to lose your job over
to lose
a
your
2-minute
job.
conversation or something that was, you know, and now everybody is on the same page and knows this is never okay.
I wanted to say, okay, so a lot of you guys know our stores are getting new closers. So, you know, before they used to be your hanging buddy and your tagging buddy, and you guys were on the same level. We're still on the same level. They just have a little bit more responsibility that they have to take care of. So if they're asking you to do something like take out the rack, it's because they know it's the best thing for the store. They need to get out of the store at a certain time. The racks have to be, the put out rack has to be completely empty before they can even leave. And they tell you to tag something, tag it. They're not asking you to do anything that they wouldn't do or haven't done before. It's just now they're the person who has to be in charge of the registers. And that's a big deal. Money, counting the money is huge. If you get it wrong, it potentially messes up the entire week. So, and besides that, Wayne and myself or Chrissy, we have to find the problem. And that's not an easy task either.
Well, it kind of, if they're having to argue with you or ask you multiple times to do something, accidents can happen. They could leave the money back out. And again, they're the person that's going to be in trouble for that. So just be aware, and that you might be in that position someday, and how would you want to be treated?
Exactly.
If you're training to do that, because that is a big job.
It is a big job. And on top of that, another thing is clocking in and clocking out, guys. Get it right. It takes a lot of time to go back and find out which day was what. Did you actually clock in? Did you not clock in?
Take
you know,
a
there's
lunch.
yeah. Did you take a lunch? There's just so many variables that we could get wrong and not pay you for, or you could get overpaid for. That it's just not fair. So clock in and clock out correctly. That would be amazing.
Okay, so I think we just have a few more things to touch on. Stay on task. When there is a to-do list, which we're focusing on in stores to have one daily, if not a long one for the week that needs to be done by the end of the week, make sure those items are done. Initial that you did them, talk amongst each other, figure out what the best way to get the to-do list done, what the priorities are, which they're usually listed by priority most of the time.
Like right now, the priority is for all Halloween to be out by Sunday. All of it needs to be out, every last item.
And it should be very
and it should.
doable.
By
There's
November 1st, your rack should be winter. So make sure it's winter. You should be putting out your Christmas. I'm going to say October 21st. That's when I want Christmas to be out on your floor, and I need you to find a place for it. So if you have to move things around, then you move things around.
end caps,
Those are some of the things that y'all need to make sure that that's on your to-do list for the next few weeks.
Right. And on top of that, markdowns still have to be done.
Yes.
We're on green right now. What are we focusing on marking down? Probably right this second.
Okay, so we're doing April 2017 and older.
It's still with green, so it's continuing the same thing we were doing with blue, but just with green now. So
a lot of it
blue.
should be blue already, but you might have missed some things when you were, who knows, you know.
There's a lot of stuff in our racks, guys. It's easy to miss.
And tell your customers, you know, let them know, hey, did you know all the green dots are 25% off? All blue dots are 50% off. You can find some really great items out there. And it could be a long sleeve. You don't know. It could be 2015 long sleeve. It's still a long sleeve. Help them find the sales that we have. What else?
Yeah, I had a customer go back out even just today checking her out. She didn't realize she had 2 green dots and went back to go find more when she realized they were on sale. There's signs all over the place, but she had no idea. I was like, oh, you get 25% off on this today. And she was right back on the floor trying to find stuff. So definitely talk to them.
We need that stuff gone so that we can buy more from our customers. And that's really why the only reason we're not buying is because we were hoarders before and we kept everything. And now we're learning, you know, trend is a big thing. So we need to mark it down. So mark it down, guys. Let it go.
Yes, stay on Facebook posts and live videos. These need to be done daily, not just, I just said Facebook, Instagram. I think all stores have Snapchat now. So, and then make sure every employee isn't participating in this. And this could be multiple ways, coming up with the ideas, pulling the product. There's girls here that are a lot better putting outfits together than I am. So make sure every employee is helping and being utilized on the videos.
And when you do a live video, make sure you're looking at the camera. Okay. Know the product beforehand. You know, if you're pulling the items, know what the two pieces are that you're going to talk about, what their pricing is, if you're going to get pricing. Deb would really like us for them to ask and engage more that way. But sometimes it is, like if it's a brand new breast pump, somebody's going to want to know that price. So, you know, that'd be something to give the information on. Just talk to them like you're having a good conversation. Enunciate your words. Look at the camera. Don't say don't look away. Don't, you know. There's a lot of things that we can all be working on, and if you watch all of our stores, you can learn a little bit from each one.
And you can tell that we're already starting to get a lot better from our very first videos to now. Sarah and them in Burleson that did find the bow, that was so cool.
One.
Yeah, so now we can kind of build on that and do new things. So that's exciting. Okay, so training. Everyone has been assigned different. If you're in buyer training, obviously you're doing the buyer training right now. I think that's probably what everybody's on, right? No management right now.
No management.
So buyer training, we still have new hires that need to have their new hire orientation done.
I think everybody's done all the new hire except for one. I won't call you out on it. Oh, actually, 1 in Weatherford and 2 in Burleson. I'm not going to call you out. But
and that's supposed to be done in the first 2 weeks. So
you definitely need to have your advanced associate done as well. That's going to help you with like cash register issues, you know, returns, gift cards, all kinds of different things. So make sure you're doing them. It's super, super important. It's information that is already there and easy to give to you if you guys are just do the training. And of course, if you do it at home, you get paid for it. And
it'll pop, you know, whenever you're having training at the store, you'll recognize those things you saw in the videos, and hopefully it'll come easier to you.
So needs to be done by 10/20. That's all training that you've been signed up for is due October 20th. So is that it's 10 days from today?
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone walk the floor, cashiers, buyers, and floor staff. This means if you have an early shift, your job is to spend the last 30 minutes of your shift walking the floor, taking out the out bin, taking out the rack, seeing what you can do to help the people who have to close the store down, especially since you all know we have really slimmed down on who's closing. So make sure you are part of the team and helping in that way.
And if so if you're a buyer and it's 30 minutes before your shift and they need you at the buy station, this is another time teamwork. Ask a floor, so it's someone else, hey, will you walk the floor for me, or will you take over if they can at the buy station? Just communicate with each other, guys. It's something that before everyone leaves needs to be done. So if you can't do it and you're needed more in another place, just make sure the floor still gets walked about 30 minutes before you leave.
Well, that's everything that we can think of at the minute to talk with you guys about. We probably will keep doing videos like this so that we can get the message sent a lot sooner and quicker, and not have to have so much overtime spent and traveling to the stores. So don't forget to message me where your panic button is in your store and when is the right time to use it. You'll get $5 in store credit.
Yay.
Bye. Thanks, guys.